Hey everybody, Shane Presley here, Rock Paper Podcast. Thank you for checking out another brand new episode of the show. Today's features my buddy Adam Donald of Donald Woodyard Incorporated. He stops by to talk about his brand new EP, and we even play a live one for you. So check that out. Enjoy this episode. I want to remind you that Rock Paper Podcast is brought to you by Roughneck Beard Company and American Rambler, located here in St. Louis, Missouri, on Manchester in Maplewood, or you can shop 24/7 at roughneckbeardcompany.com. And they ship all over the world. Free shipping on any order over $50 in the United States. And if you want to save even more money, use my code RPP15 for an exclusive 15% off. You know, it's fall now, and Roughneck Beard Company's brought back one of their most popular products, and that's the Roughneck Beard Batter. It's a perfect daily conditioner or after-wash solution. Rub a dime-sized glob through your mane in the morning or after a shower and let the shea butter and hemp seed oil go to work. This product will help prevent itching and dryness. So if your beard's been itching, check out the Beard Batter. It'll help you out a whole lot. And take care of that beard. Keep it looking fresh. You can try all their wonderful beard oils, beard balms, junk powder, all sorts of different products infused with different things. We've got coffee and all sorts of wonderful things. Whatever you're into, they've probably got a product just right for you. So check out roughneckbeardcompany.com today and get yourself looking good and smelling good. Big thanks again to Heil Sound for their support and helping me making this show sound great. Head on over to heilsound.com today and get yourself a new microphone. That's it for me, everybody. If you need me, you can find me at rockpaperpodcast@gmail.com. Hit me up on Facebook or Twitter and Instagram. And you can find the show wherever you're getting your podcasting at. So keep on listening. Tell a friend about it. I really appreciate all your continued support. And sit back, relax, and enjoy this brand new episode with Adam Donald.
Podcast is kind of like it's like a radio show that's not on the radio. It's on the internet. Does that make sense? Uh-huh. Yeah. That's also like my mom. It makes it sound more confusing, doesn't it? It sounds like this.
This is Adam Donald, and you are listening to Rock Paper Podcast.
Rock Paper Podcast.
Scissors beat paper, paper covers rock. Rock beats scissors, Shane covers non-stop. Never know what new kind of guest that he's got coming at you. Live and direct on the spot. Could be rock, folk, country, or hip-hop, jazz. All kind of folks that he has. Could be an artist or a comedian to make you laugh on the
Rock Paper Podcast.
double-decker fudge round, rolling round town. Shane coming at you live and direct from ground zero. He's your hero, he's your bestie. Rock Paper Podcast with Shane Presley.
Rock Paper Podcast.
Hey everybody, Shane Presley here, Rock Paper Podcast, coming to you from St. Louis, Missouri. Hanging out today with returning guest Adam Donald of Donald Woodyard Incorporated.
Thank you, Shane.
Hey man, welcome back to the show, buddy.
I appreciate you having me back. I love how you transition. It's like an instant transition when you start.
Oh,
it's
yeah?
like you change a new face.
Kick it into
You
podcast.
kick it in podcast mode, and you're
Yeah,
a whole different person.
Yeah. Hey, that's called being a professional.
It is, yeah.
I like to throw you off guard. I like to, just kind of play it cool, and then like as soon as we press record, snap into gear, snap into Slim Jim. Like my dear friend Randy Macho Man Savage used to say.
They're making a Hulk and Macho Man movie.
Yeah, I saw the posters and I was like wondering if that was like legit and how that was.
Is it legit? I don't know. I've just seen pictures of it.
But yeah, I'm like, I don't know how much I believe Chris Hemsworth as Hulk Hogan. And
yeah, he's too attractive to be Hulk Hogan. When I was a kid, I bought this Macho Man Randy Savage like pillow doll thing.
Sure, wrestling buddies or whatever,
It was,
or something like that.
Yeah, I think you know what I'm talking about. Where they had like you could punch him in the gut, and he had a little talk box.
Oh yeah,
and you'd hit his gut, and he'd go like, "You're punching my gut." He'd hit his foot and be like, my leg. You just explain that you're hurting this particular body part. But it wasn't like neon era Randy Savage, like bright yellows and pinks. It was like the black and silver, like Randy Savage look.
Were you big into wrestling?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like, so what do you?
So when I was a kid, I wasn't allowed to watch WWF because they say swear words in it. But I'd watch it. You know, my dad would pull me aside and be like, "Hey, you can watch this," but I had to watch WCW.
Yeah.
You know?
I was big in WCW. I didn't get too much into WWF or E until like later as an adult and things. But as a kid, me and my brother used to watch a ton of like Monday Night Nitro and all that WCW stuff. And of course, we were, you know, the whole NWO era, you know, when they came in and all that stuff. So like, it was a lot of fun being a kid and being a part of that and stuff while it was happening. And it was very entertaining as a lot of those guys were, you know, leaving WWF and coming over to WCW. Yeah.
And then the whole thing with Bret and Owen Hart, them getting screwed over. It plays out like a reality TV soap opera drama. It's insane. And it's funny we start talking about wrestling because I'm wearing a Moondog shirt right now.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know Moondog.
I don't know if I know Moondog.
Moondog is a amateur wrestler that wrestles at the South Broadway Athletic Club.
Yeah. I got a buddy who does I don't know where exactly he wrestles at, but he's like he's like semi-pro or however it's done.
I don't know if Moondog makes any money.
Yeah, but Josh like does actual like he's got fans and stuff. Like, you know, that's really cool that like he's got kids that come out and to their matches and things, and like, you know, so it's like, I don't know, I'm excited for him. It's really cool to see what he's been able to do and stuff. And
it's really, when you see it live though, and you specifically when you see amateurs do it live, you're like, wow, these people really, they work out.
Yeah.
You know, they're really athletic.
Sure.
Except for Moondog.
Oh yeah.
Moondog is the one who isn't. You see, he's just an old man with the big old Santa beard. For those who are listening, you can probably type in Moondog Rover St. Louis and pull us up, but he looks like the dwarf from Lord of the Rings. And he has a big old dog bone the size of a femur.
Yeah.
Like a human femur. And he goes into the ring and he doesn't say anything. He just barks. He barks at his opponent, and then the opponent just beats him up, and he just gets beat up until the guy's tuckered out. And that's his strategy,
nice.
I guess.
Yeah. Well, it's working, I guess.
I don't know. I would like to know in the amateur wrestling circuit who's like writing, like who knows who's going to win this time around.
Yeah.
Do they just draw from a hat?
Right.
I don't know.
Who's their Vince McMahon?
Yeah, who is their Vince McMahon?
Right.
I would like to know that. Is it Kevin Wilkins?
Maybe. Let's get him on the phone.
He looks like he could be one. Well, I'll send him an email. I'll write him out a very thoughtful email and go,
yeah.
Are you like the Vince McMahon?
Yeah, right.
I can't remember what the wrestling league is called.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure. But while we're talking about it, big RIP to Road Warrior Animal. Just passed away.
He did, like yesterday, I believe, maybe 2 days ago.
That was a really sad news. I think he was 60. I think I read. I think something like that. But obviously had a lot of ties here to St. Louis with his son playing for the Rams all those years and stuff.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I don't know if he lived here or like just hung around, like visited a lot and stuff, but I'm pretty sure I ran into him at a Walmart
like O'Fallon Walmart or something like that. But I didn't, or Target, maybe, I think it was Target. But I didn't really I didn't want to bother him. He was just a guy shopping, I'm like, I wanted to respect that.
Didn't want to walk up and smack his butt.
Yeah, right.
Be like, good game.
Yeah.
Good game.
I don't know. There's, it's like, they were just people, all these celebrities and stuff. I mean, even though, it's been fun to say hey to them or whatever, but some of that I just respect their privacy. Like they're out doing their own thing, just being a dude for the day, and sometimes it's kind of nice to not having to go through and take pictures with people and stuff.
Isn't that kind of a choice that you make though?
I think so. I mean, I've never really had to make that choice. But I think people
live and die trying to just get the opportunity to make
Sure.
that choice of whether or not they want to sacrifice their privacy for fame.
Yeah.
I suppose.
But sometimes if it's certain people, I probably would. But I try to be, try to play cool a lot of times. Especially if they're just eating at a restaurant or whatever it is and things. Reminds me of a really a funny story that Artie Lang was telling a story, I think, on Stern Show once, and he got to become good friends with Don Rickles shooting that movie Dirty Work. And Rickles told him the story. And but Rickles was obviously real tight with Frank Sinatra, and Rickles went out on a date with this girl, and he was sitting at the table, took her, and he saw Frank across the room, and he said something to Frank, and he's like, yeah, hey Frank, really I'm on first date with this girl. I think it'd make a real great impression if you come over and say something, and kind of thing, and he's like, yeah, of course, Don, I can do, and so he goes back to the table, sits down with the girl, and he's talking, and then Frank Sinatra comes over to the table, and he's like, yeah, not now, Frank, I'm busy, and just blew him off.
Yeah, blew him off, so he looks more important than Frank Sinatra.
Yeah, so I was like, man, that's such a great play.
It's a great, yeah. Yeah, he had to pull Frank aside later and be like, hey, Frank, sorry about that earlier, but that really worked out.
All right.
Really scored with that one.
So
yeah, Don Rickles is hilarious.
Yeah, man. One of the best. That him in that movie Dirty Work, that is some of the funniest stuff. Is he ripping on Artie and talking to the ice cream in his belly and all that. Such a funny movie. Anyway, I think we've derailed pretty well.
We have.
Which
we never even railed. To begin with.
Right. But you, man, we've been good buddies for a long time now. So this is fun. Whenever you do have some new stuff to talk about, you come back on the show and hang out with me, and we get to talk about wrestling and Don Rickles and everything else. But you do have a brand new EP you're getting ready to release out to the world, called Waltzes for the Damned, and due out October 2nd.
Yes. It is 3 waltzes, loosely. Some of them are in a proper 3/4 time. Some are in a 6/8. Get over it. It sounds cool. It's a great name.
Are you receiving a lot of angry emails about this?
Only from Zach Gibbons.
Yeah.
It's the only person. And I'll call him out right here, right now. He's the only guy. No, but either way, 3 waltzes that I recorded at home. It's all pretty much just me doing the instruments. I do have Scotty Iman, who drums with Kara, and Dylan Dowdy on the record as well. Otherwise, it's all me. But yeah, they're just 3 songs that I wrote over the course of the pandemic and recorded at home, and I thought that they would fit well together because they're all in a waltz form and sort of have the same airy, folksy vibe to them. It's like, we'll put these 3 together and release that. And with it, I'm not doing any merch or anything, but if you contact me, I will make you a cassette tape with all the songs on it.
Yeah,
just like in the 90s, man.
Yeah.
And just get you a cassette tape with that on the A side, and then my older EP, I'll put it on the B side, and then make you a little doodle and mail it to you.
I got one of those doodles.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. I have a tape for you in my car too.
Oh, man.
I made you one.
You get all kinds of gifts.
So you do.
That I love that doodle, man. I like that whole. You obviously did very well with that couple weeks there. You were doing those. A lot of people took you up on your offer and donated and stuff. And
we were able to help some of the venue staff that's been displaced at Off Broadway and San Lou, and unfortunately, the livery company has succumbed to the coronavirus lockdown, and it's a good thing that there's a lockdown, but it's a bad. You get the idea. We're all living through it right now.
Yeah, but I thought that was super cool that you took it upon yourself to do what you could to, support some of your favorite places, and do every little bit helps, man.
Hopefully that. Did something for some people, cheered them up, gave them some hope for a minute. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it did for me. I got my face on a microphone, so.
Yeah, you got a new logo out of it.
There you go, man. Maybe a T-shirt someday. I don't know.
I should have brought the tape in here because I drew you as like a decapitated head.
Oh, I got it. Oh, you have
and your eyes are bleeding out.
Custom art on there, huh?
Yeah,
nice,
exactly.
Man.
Yeah,
so everybody's getting completely
custom art.
Individual custom art.
Yeah, you just tell me. You can send me a picture of your dog. I'll draw it. Severed head with all his eyeballs bleeding out.
All right.
It's like, the thing is, I wanted to call it Waltzes for the Damned because none of the songs are scary sounding.
Right.
They're all like they're all like major key. It's really not scary at all. But I figured Halloween time release.
Right.
It's marketing. What I'm doing is subconsciously appealing to your Halloween, endorphins or whatever that are pumping right now.
Man.
So you're like, I see that scary looking album cover. I think that'll be great Halloween music. It's not. But hey, it's marketing.
Unless people are terrified of waltzes, so.
There's probably a word for that.
Yeah, I'm sure there is. But this, man, I really, you sent me a copy, and I got to listen to it. I spent it twice today. Got to listen to both, all three songs, and really digging it, man. I like your writing. I like the storytelling you're able to do in these songs, and it seems like they're like at least two of them are like kind of focused in like a small town type of setting, so I don't know if those are like, I assume those are real places, and based on a series of true events of sorts. So I feel like anyway. So I enjoy that type of stuff. Like I can almost kind of put myself into that spot, into that song, into that town or whatever. Kind of along with your words and the song and stuff, kind of paint that picture.
Yeah, inadvertently, two of the songs are about places. So one song is called Sedona Cowboy Culture, which is about being in Sedona, Arizona, and seeing all the people buying cowboy hats at the gift shop. And so we went down there. It's a whole, it's such, when I say it out loud, it's like, oh, that song sounds so dumb. I don't want to listen to that. But here's what happened. Kara and I went down to Sedona for a wedding, and we rented a car and drove all around Arizona and looked at all the desert landscape. We went to Prescott, Sedona. We went to Jerome. And it's beautiful. It was my first time there. And the landscape is amazing, and you're just driving through these curvy roads through the mountains. And then you get to Sedona, and it's just like a giant strip mall town. Like the whole street is a strip mall. And you park out behind it, and you just go walk around, and you go to the equivalent of like a Hot Shots here or a Buffalo Wild Wings,
Real classy joint.
Real classy joint. But while you're there, there's people just peddling cowboy hats everywhere, and I went in and bought myself a cowboy hat there, like you do. Yeah. And I'm walking around. I'm like, man, I got the best one in the store. And I'm walking around. Everybody else has the same hat, is me. And I was like, man, everybody here is a tourist. There's not a single real cowboy on the street. And so that's when the line hit me. Oh, well, there ain't no real cowboys no more. And so I was like, well, there's a song in there somewhere. And then a year later, I wrote the song.
Yeah.
And then there's another section about the town of Jerome, which is a ghost town. Like, ghost town in that there was a mining explosion and it's haunted. Or so the people say. And that's like their big thing. Like, oh, come eat at the haunted hamburger restaurant, you know? And we wanted to, but the line was too long. And we went to this other hamburger place where they left the paper on the cheese. So when I bit into the sandwich, the cheese was still, the paper was still on the cheese, and I pull it out, and the waitress laughs at me. It's fine. I wasn't mad. It was still a good burger. It tasted fine.
It was good paper.
But there was these two people there, and they were just the weirdest young couple. I don't know if they were a couple, but they were there together. And they kept playing us all these new bands and stuff. And I guess it is me sounding old or cynical, but it's just a whole bunch of stuff where I'm like, it's some dubstep or EDM music that they're trying to get into and stuff. And here I am in Arizona and like feeling like the cowboy culture, and so I just started like reminiscing to them. I'm like, do you guys ever listen to like Merle Haggard or Willie or anybody? And they're like, who's that? I'm like, well,
get out of here, Grandpa.
It's okay. It's okay. You're entitled to not know who those people are. I'm not gonna judge you about it. But it's like, well, they were playing, and what they were playing, I like it, but not a whole lot, or something is the lyric.
Yeah.
And so that's where that whole song came about.
Yeah, man.
Got me a rental. Went down to Sedona, bought me a new Stetson hat. And I was playing my folk songs down on the corner for the tourists with the same type cap. And all of these cowboys walking the streets, I'm spending money at the old gift store. They get in their pickups, shiny and new. There ain't no real cowboys no more. There ain't no real cowboys. There ain't no more good songs. There ain't no real reason to pray. For the old lonely cowboys packed up and long gone. Let's hope things don't stay the same. And I got back in my rental, went up to Jerome, where the hippies were smoking their pipe. They're playing the radio, and what the DJ was spinning, I like it, but not a whole lot. I remember Merle Haggard, Waylon and Dolly, and Buffett's Songs of the Shore. I was grooving to James Brown and old Buddy Holly. There ain't no real good songs no more. There ain't no real cowboys. There ain't no more good songs. There ain't no real reason to pray. For the old lonely cowboys packed up and long gone. Let's hope things don't stay the same.
away.
That's a definitely, like I said, it's a fun little storytelling there, and and I also appreciated that you mentioned Jimmy Buffett, because that's one of my favorites that you get to do with old Sean Cannon, the Voodoo Buffett night. And
the Voodoo Buffett night is the night. I mean, I literally check my phone every morning, hoping that Sean has texted me and goes, "Hey, we're doing another Buffett night."
It's such a great night.
It's such a great night. You want to come out, you want to just have fun.
Yep.
That's what people don't, people forget, a song can be a really artistic expression and stuff like that. But you forget songs can be fun too.
Sure. Yeah.
Don't you listen to music to entertain yourself a little bit? So don't, I'm just saying, give Buffett a chance if you're out there. I grew up, my father is a parrot head. To the core. So it's has framed pictures and posters of Jimmy Buffett.
Yeah.
My
aunt was like that. She was like, so I grew up, it wasn't super, but not that I spent a whole lot of time with her. So I wasn't a big part of my childhood, but whenever I went to go visit or anything, she was all about parrot head life. And we always had Jimmy Buffett playing in her car or anything like that. So, anytime I was around her, I was influenced by it. And I was like, these are fun songs. Even as a kid,
if a kid, show me one kid that doesn't like Cheeseburger in Paradise.
Yeah.
Show me one kid that doesn't like that song.
I don't know if I ever told you, my buddy Josh has a joke he used to do. I don't even know. I think it's kind of a throwaway thing for him. I don't think he even really likes it, but he does it, and he used to, or at least he used to do it in his act. And I'm but I always cracked up because of, one, I like Jimmy Buffett, but two, it was such a funny idea. But he talked about how Cheeseburger in Paradise and how he's going through, the verse kicks in, I like mine with lettuce and tomato, Heinz 57 and French fried potatoes. And he's like,
kosher pickle and yeah.
So he's he thinks he should just keep it going, and I like when the pickle juices kind of get on the fries a little bit, and then
just keep that breakdown going.
Keeps getting weirder and weirder, and so anyway, So I don't know. It always made me laugh so hard, because he would just start improvising as in the voice and things. And
I hope Sean Kane is listening to this and taking notes.
Right? Yeah, yeah.
Because we could do that.
Keep on describing how much he likes his cheeseburgers and stuff. And
yeah, we could do that next. Next show.
You get to share the stage with Sean and your buddy Cree, and it's an incredible night, man, full of all sorts of St. Louis All-Star players and great songs. And I know Sean's taking the stage actually tonight as we're recording. We're doing some social distance concerts out there at the lot, so it might. I know Paul Simon and Bob Marley and. Tom Petty night coming up and things. So hopefully, if all those keep going well, maybe we'll get a Buffett night in before it gets too cold out there.
Full disclosure, though, I do have to pay Cree to hang out with me.
Oh, right. Yeah, who doesn't?
He and I aren't actually friends.
Oh, okay.
I have to give him money out of my wallet hourly.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, you're free 4 hours, $80. Whatever, Cree. I guess.
That's a fair deal.
I need a friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. Either way, Cree Writer, not an actual friend. He's a bought and paid for.
I'm glad you clarified on here for everybody. I'm glad that he does that. I mean, that's nice of him to support and be there for when you need a friend.
I've got a punch card, and if I hang out with him 2 more times, I get a free session.
Right.
He'll make me a BLT or something.
Cree Rider. Hopefully, does that include when you play gigs with him too?
No.
He just doesn't.
We don't talk to each other.
He just doesn't pay you. He counts that as part of your.
Well, yeah. At the gig, we just pretend that we're not.
Yeah.
We don't know each other.
Yeah.
So then it doesn't, conflate with our contracts.
Understandable. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Good. Keeping business, keeping everything on.
I'm just trying to support his family.
Right. Yeah.
All right, yeah. Moving on. What do we got? What else do we have?
Well, let's play a live one. We did do a lot of live acoustic jam here today, and you played a song called "Me and My Broken Arm."
Yes,
which is based on a true story.
It's a true story. I fell and broke my arm, and I broke my lower radius, and I had to get a metal plate installed with several screws, and I was incapacitated for a while, for several days healing. And you all know, if you've had surgery, that when you're like on all the drugs and you're in bed and in pain, that it's just time sort of becomes meaningless, and you feel like you can't do anything, and you just feel like helpless. But also it was a big warning sign that, my body's getting older and I can't, just a simple fall can change my life now. I'm not even that old. I'm 31 years old. And either way, I just was laying in my bed feeling depressed about it all, and I was just sort of humming the tune, the melody in my head. I was like, me and my broken, and I found it made a good metaphor for depression, or if somebody's dealing with loss or grieving. It's it's going to heal, it's going to get better. You may have all these feelings now that are totally legitimate, but just remember, all things get better with time. Right. So that's kind of the metaphor behind it, but of course it's also a very literal song. I'm just singing about my arm being broken. Don't read so much into it if you don't have to.
Yeah.
It's just a fun little tune.
Me and my broken arm. Me and my broken arm. Can't do anyone no good, at least I can't do no harm. Just me and my broken arm. And I was youthful once before, now an empty reservoir. Sack of bones wrapped in sheets, helpless as can be, like old photos in the drawer. And I was useful once before, now I'm brittle down to the core. Can you take it away, the slow waking decay, before it's too bad to ignore? Arm can't do anyone no good, at least I can't do no harm. Just me and my broken arm. Me and my broken arm. Me and my broken arm.
You were out of commission for quite a while, not even be able to touch a guitar or anything?
Yeah, I couldn't, I started playing when I probably shouldn't have. But yeah, there was a good month that, I couldn't, even lift anything with my right hand so much as think about trying to strum or like move my wrist in this motion, which is for those of you who can't see, is up and down. I don't know how to describe that.
Yeah.
But I couldn't do this. And of course, there's my scar. For those of you that can't see, it's about, what do you say? That's about 2 inches. It's not even that big.
Yeah.
But either way, that's what that song's about.
Is this you broke any other bones before, like as a kid?
I broke my ankle when I was like 16 or something.
Yeah.
And I was skateboarding.
Oh, nice.
In fact, I broke this arm because I was skateboarding too. Nearly half a lifetime later.
So maybe
lay off. Yeah. So you crazy kids out there on their skateboards. Enough's enough.
Yeah, Matt Maher. I've been watching his. Man, that guy. I didn't know he skates, but he
skates.
Yeah, he's been pulling off all kinds of crazy tricks on.
He's cool, man. What a cool guy.
He does it all.
Does he smoke cigarettes
Probably.
too?
I mean, like if he's that cool, he's got to.
He's got to smoke cigarettes if he's that cool.
Yeah, probably smokes while he's skating.
Yeah.
I saw him jump a shopping cart today on Instagram. I was like, psh, this guy does it all.
Gnarly.
Yep. I was like, I don't even want to think about it. I definitely broke something trying to do that. So
he's definitely not a virgin. Definitely not a virgin.
If you're jumping shopping carts on a skateboard, you're definitely not a virgin.
Yeah.
I've never broke a bone, but like the most like serious injury I had, which it wasn't even like super serious in retrospect, but at the time I was like, oh man, this is gonna be bad. But I was playing basketball and like a guy like went to go like block my shot and went in and like poked me right in the eye, and like I couldn't see for quite a while, and I thought for sure I was like,
man,
I thought I was gonna.
I couldn't handle that.
I thought I was gonna lose it or be blind or whatever. I didn't. Of course, all the worst things are going through your mind at the time. So I go in the bathroom and kind of like washing it out and then had to go to the doctor and it turns out like I broke all the blood vessels in it, and I had to put like this medicated eye drops in, and ultimately everything healed up and full vision and everything came back and all, but it was just like, super scary at the time, but that was like the worst all the years of playing football and basketball and everything else, like I'm surprised I didn't break something, but I was busy usually breaking other people's bones. So.
Yeah, I'd imagine that other people be worried about you, not the other way around.
But it was, I don't know, man. But yeah, so I learned right away that skateboarding and roller skates and rollerblades and all those things are not for me. I just keep my big ass on the ground.
Yeah, those are for little squirrely people that are, with a low center of gravity.
Yeah, I tried, but I just keep falling over. So I'm like, yep.
Well, that's where I am now.
Yeah.
I like, what I like to do? I like to sit.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty cool.
I like a nice
chair.
Just like a nice sit.
Right. Couch, chair, whatever it is.
Anything. Yeah, just about anything.
Right.
Even if it's the floor.
Yep.
I'll sit on the floor.
Yeah. Not opposed to that.
That's what I'm into.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you're in your 30s now, so it's things change, People enjoy a good sit.
I like that, and I like a good soda water.
Yeah. You want to make any endorsements or any shout out to?
Yeah, I would.
Who's your favorite soda water?
Just a plain Aldi one.
Yeah.
No flavor. That's what I like.
Okay.
Just a crisp. Does that make me a sociopath? That I like the off-brand plain soda water? I don't know.
I don't know either. I'm not sure exactly what qualifies for, but it might be something to think about.
You like the plain soda water from Aldi? I think you may have clinical depression.
I saw a good one the other day. It was like, I can't wait for my quarantine depression to meet my seasonal depression, and all this stuff. Like,
I'm waiting for it. It's all going to coalesce, man. We're going to be in for a nightmare come this winter time.
Right.
I'm not. Yeah. Nobody call me. I'll help you talk through your stuff, but just know I'm working through my own stuff too.
Exactly. Be watching the Law and Order marathon.
That's a great way to stave off depression for a while. A little Law and Order escapism, hour-long escapism. It's fine. Yeah, that's good.
Yep. You let's play the last one, and this is kind of I guess full title is Remembering the Jimmy Rogers Memorial Festival and Parade. Correct?
Yes, that's the full title. Or you can just call it the Jimmy Rogers song if you want.
What's the fun of that, though?
So, I was born and raised in a town called Meridian, Mississippi. And that's the town where Jimmy Rogers is from, who was the father of country music, like what became popular country music in the 30s. I believe he died in 1933.
You mean it wasn't Toby Keith?
Wasn't Toby Keith, no. Although Toby Keith you can tell he draws a lot of inspiration from Jimmy Rogers. But Jimmy Rogers, he had tuberculosis and he was a hobo and wrote a bunch of great country songs and that are still sung today. And either way, he palled around with just the scum of the earth but wound up being a very rich man and squandered all of his money before he died of tuberculosis, I believe, in Bristol, Virginia, or maybe it was New York City. Either way, don't fact check me. I'm just making this up as I go. But either way, in Meridian, everything is Jimmy Rogers this, Jimmy Rogers that. Like in the O'Charlie's, we got an O'Charlie's in Meridian. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
Yeah.
But we got one, and you know how you walk in, and O'Charlie's typically has like a mural painted above like the kitchen or bar area or something.
Okay.
Do they have that in O'Fallon or anywhere in the O'Charlie's
I haven't
here?
been to an O'Charlie's in a long time, but probably.
I haven't either, but I remember they had like a big old mural that like wrapped around the kitchen, and it was all Jimmy Rogers train and thumbs up in his brakeman clothes themed. But ever since his death and up until like the mid 90s, they had nearly 75 years, they had a parade and a memorial festival where they do like a crawfish boil. They'd have bands come in and play, Jimmy Rogers songs and stuff like that. My grandmother on my mom's side went to the festival and parade and saw Elvis performing on the back of a flatbed pickup. So it was a huge, back in the day, it was a huge deal. And since then, the prosperity of the town is like dilapidated, and not a lot of people, if you walk up to a Meridian today and say, hey, Jimmy, blah, 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 Jimmy Rogers, blah, 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 they're not, a lot of young people aren't going to know who he is. So I just thought it was like a kind of fun correlation to see like the sort of, I guess, the fall of the town, for lack of a better word, and the fading of his memories sort of going on the same line graph. And so that's sort of what the song is about, and like how maybe the town has lost a hero, and because of that they might have lost their way in their own shape or form, you know? So sort of like, I guess, a glorification of him as a folk hero, although he wasn't a great person at all. And I do mention that in the song. So it's not like I'm saying he's an angel, but it was he's definitely something that people could have aspired to in the town in the past, and now it's nobody gives a shit anymore.
All right.
That's what that song's about.
Yeah.
Lauderdale County, in a town called Meridian, there stands a granite statue of the Singing Breakman. Now Jimmy, he's been gone now nearly 100 years. They celebrate his memory with parades and shedding tears. In the old theaters he played down in the old town square, long gone and forgotten, downtown's in disrepair. And the train tracks he rode upon, yodeling his hobo tunes, long since been torn up, Meridian's been consumed. Everybody's unemployed there, save the doctors, lawyers, and thieves. Even old Hartley Peavy packed his things to leave. Every year it's getting warmer, the farmers' crops won't grow, poor folks dying from hunger, singing Jesus carried me home. In the South it longs for nostalgia, for a past only plated in gold. And Jimmy, he sang for all people, even he had a long way to go. Will they ever recover from a past so scarred with pain? Will they ever love one another? Are they waiting on the train? So if you find yourself in Highland Park in front of Jimmy's statue, give him 2 good thumbs up, Singing Breakman, I remember you.
It is kind of weird how like small town traditions like hang on for so long and then all of a sudden like they'll just disappear like that. Like
Yeah, somebody's grandma died that organized it. Gone.
We do,
and then nobody cares to do it anymore.
We do this festival every year for so long, and then all of a sudden like or nobody knows it exists, and like a whole new group of people come in, and like it's like we don't even know what you're talking about. Like, so it's strange how small towns do that kind of like Wentzville. I've been out here all my life, and that was sort of like that. There was obviously all sorts of different things. Some things are still around, but it's like this town's like grown so much. So like some of the little things that we had when it was like in the 90s, when I was growing up, there was hardly anybody out here, and but now like it's one of the largest, fastest growing communities in the country.
I lived out here right off of Highway A and Josephville Road.
Right.
Back there. In the woods back there. I lived there for from 2005 or 6 until 2011, near about.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy to see it come up. Just the neighborhoods over there. I mean, they put the houses up like it's absolutely nothing. It's insane.
But yeah, we didn't have any like Jimmy Rogers festival. I don't think really like It wasn't like a certain guy that we celebrated, but I do know there was like just
We had
different.
the Renaissance Fair.
Yeah, we have the Ren Fair still.
You had the Bon Air restaurant where Chuck Berry filmed all those women in the restroom.
which is still celebrated today.
That's what Wentzville's known for in its celebrity status.
Right.
That is.
No, it's but I grew up. I shared a property line with Chuck Berry out there, Berry Acres, and stuff. So like, I never met him or anything, but it was just interesting to grow up next to a.
Yeah. You just go, that's Chuck Berry's house.
Yeah, right. Godfather of rock and roll right there.
Yeah,
Like,
he's sitting right over there in Wentzville, Missouri.
yeah, it's just
I don't know.
strange.
That's where his family
Yeah.
is, I guess. I don't know.
But yeah, we put your picture up online, and I guess before we move on, though, we should say again, this is available. You can download it if you'd like on Bandcamp and things.
I made it available early. You can get a cassette. It'll be on everything else you can imagine October 2nd.
Right. So, and if you want a cassette, do you want them to go through the Bandcamp? Is that the easiest way?
Yeah, it's
or?
the easiest way for me to keep track
Sure.
of them.
So, so Donald Woodyard Incorporated at Bandcamp.com.
You'll find it.
Yeah, type all that in the search.
It's the only one it's
Yeah.
the only one there.
Yep. Not all,
Thankfully, nobody has that name.
right.
Nobody else does.
It's a good thing you didn't go with like the Beatles or something like that. Like
Yeah, I was planning on misspelling it too,
Right.
so it wasn't like the bug. It was like a drum hit.
Yeah.
But
would have been awkward.
yeah, they already did it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed, but it's not spelled like the bug.
All right.
They put an A in there.
It was a pun.
Yeah, it is
Very clever.
Yeah, they were smart little lads, mop-haired lads.
I was just listening to Stern show this week, and it's funny that he does like so much stuff, puts so much content out there, and he probably doesn't get nearly the feedback as he did for this one. But he did he just like as on a whim or whatever, he decided to he was going to name the greatest rock and roll bands of all time, and he was only going to do 3, but he said the first 2 are the Beatles and Stones. And then he's like, and then you think about, well, who's going to be the third one? Is it going to be the Who or Led Zeppelin or Rush or whatever, something, all this different stuff. And he's like, and then eventually he says that Led Zeppelin's the 3rd greatest rock and roll band of all time and all this. And yeah, people like calling in and email and everything. Like, what about, Nirvana? What about Pearl Jam or whatever and all this different stuff? And he's like, or AC/DC or what, it goes on and on. And, but it's just like, it's funny how people are like so passionate about their bands that they like and stuff that they think they should be considered the greatest of all time and stuff. And I'm like, so anyway, it was just funny to me that this is just his thoughts, 3 bands that he thinks should be the best of all time. And so,
yeah, that's a tough one. I think that's an unanswerable question.
Sure. Yeah. It's all, your own perspective and whoever, it's really, really difficult to say any of it. I mean, like Led Zeppelin, I'm fully aware of what they were able to do. What I appreciate it for what it is, but and same thing, Beatles and Stones. I mean, all that stuff. Like a lot of that early stuff they were doing, almost all of it's cover songs. Mm-hmm. And and Led Zeppelin 1 is an entirely a cover album, essentially. And they just cranked it up, made it rock and roll and stuff. But they took all blues songs and made them rock and roll songs, and so stuff like that. So then I just feel like it's hard to really granted they went on to do write a ton of original stuff too, in all 3 of those bands. But it's just it's hard for me to say that they're that's the greatest stuff whenever you're ripping off somebody else that's already, especially Led Zeppelin was saying it was all Page and Plant stuff.
I'm of the philosophy that there's too many songs already.
Yeah.
There's too many bands and songs.
Not any more good ones.
Sure. Yeah, yes. Yeah, call back there.
Yep.
But there's too many songs today. I don't know why I'm adding to the problem.
Yeah.
I must be psycho. There's too much stuff, man. I mean, how do you possibly? I mean, you just log into Spotify today, and it's so. The catalog is so massive. Where do you begin?
Right.
And then at what point does almost literally everything start sounding the exact same? I mean, and then you get to the point where it's like music is so modern and has to be like so angular and just like throwing melody out of the window and stuff to make it unique sounding. I don't know. At what point do you think that my counterpoint to your point is the Beatles should have just kept doing cover songs?
Yeah. It worked.
It worked for them.
All right.
They should have cut off 1969. Done. There's no more songs. 1970 on, we're covering everything that happened the past 2,000 years or so. That's our catalog. You still won't be able to listen to all of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, let alone like even just those two bands, Stones and Beatles, like have a couple hundred songs.
Just between between the two of
right.
them, yeah, you have to go into a deep dive.
Yep. That I don't know. I wonder if it's like because you guys musicians make it look so easy that so many people like, yeah, I could do that or whatever. I don't know why it is, but there's so many people making their own songs and doing their own thing, and and then definitely a wide spectrum of skill sets and talents and things. But I was call back to wrestling. A friend of mine just shared with me today that even Jeff Hardy has an album, put out songs from the Hardy Brothers. Macho Man put out a rap album. I
remember that.
John Cena put out a rap album.
I didn't know that.
Why does every wrestler think that they're also a musician? It's like so. There's a bunch of them.
Didn't Hulk Hogan do a blues album?
He might have. I don't know. But that whole
Bruce Willis had a blues rock band.
Yeah.
Not a wrestler, but Rick Moranis.
And Kiefer Sutherland.
Yeah. Yeah, my mom has seen Kiefer Sutherland's blues rock show.
Yeah, Jeff Daniels.
Didn't know Jeff Daniels had a band.
He plays. Yep. So I don't know. I just think there maybe there's something to do with that and maybe other musicians made it look easy and they because I don't why, but it's also the same thing. Comedy too. Everybody, if you're on a '90s TV show now you're a comedian You just make appearances at the comedy club now and stuff, and you can just go up there and tell jokes.
Yeah, so, yeah. You can just show up. You don't have to be on the list or anything. Right. Don't crash the show. Yeah.
So I don't know. It's a weird world, man. But anyway, got a bunch of questions for you. People were dying to know some of this stuff, and they needed to know from Adam. So we got. Old friend of the show, Aunt Carol, she wrote in with a bunch of them, and she wanted your answers to some of her questions. Let's since we mentioned Buffett earlier, let's start with this one. What's your favorite Jimmy Buffett lyric / favorite memory with Carol?
I feel like that's a rigged question. Or loaded question. My favorite Buffett lyric, geez Louise, it's just like now you have to mull through so many of them, and a lot of them, there's so many songs that are just like story based that if I picked one out of context, it wouldn't make any sense. Like the Ice Cream Man, he's a hillbilly fan. He has 78s by Hank Snow. And then he goes on to talk about the Ice Cream Man's a homeless guy, and he likes getting drunk with this homeless guy and talking about life and stuff. The Wino and I Know, that song. That's probably my favorite Buffett songs. I mean, just or Grapefruit Juicy Fruit, chew a little juicy fruit, wash away the night. That's a great It's a great lyric.
Yeah.
It's just fun. Favorite memory with Aunt Carol? See, that's hard because I don't like any of them. We recently went up to the Warren Dunes, and there was a very like dad, or maybe he was more like grandpa, but he was clearly there, like happy to like be there with his kids, and we were just ripping on him, just making fun of him for just being a totally nice looking average grandpa. But it's like God, this is such an awkward question because you obviously had to have been there, and now I'm just sounding rambling on. She gets it. She gets it. I'm answering it for her. Next question.
I just want to know more. Like, was he wearing New Balance and like khaki shorts, and you like guaranteed dad uniform there?
Yeah, it was. He was on the beach down there, and it was in Warren Dunes in Michigan, and he just had like the dad like swim trunks on. Right. He had the sunglasses, like the Oakley, wraparound dad sunglasses, and just he had his like gut hanging out of his. Out of his shirt, walking around.
You know Rafe Williams at all?
No.
He's a local comedian, and he tours all over, doing comedy, but lives here in St. Louis. And he has an album that he put out recently, Young Grandpa, I think it's called. I'm pretty sure. I know it's a grandpa. I'm pretty sure it's Young Grandpa. But he... because I think he just turned 40 and he's now a grandpa. And because he had, obviously he had his son young, and now his son had one young. So he talks about now that he's a grandpa, like all the things that are changing in his life and stuff, like talking about like, like playing basketball in blue jeans or something like that, and like I don't know, stuff like that.
Yeah, this is the guy. That's the guy.
Yeah,
that's the guy at the dunes.
So there's a bunch of funny stories in there, but definitely check that out. What do you wish you knew about songwriting when you first started? Is there anything that you learned that you wish you knew back then?
I wish I knew how to hide them from my mom better.
Yeah?
Because she'd find them and then make fun of me.
Your own songs? She'd make fun of your songs?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the first song I wrote was I was really into Weird Al, and so I would make parody songs. But this is when I was a kid. Never mind. I'm not gonna go into this. My mom found my parody songs. Some of them were vulgar. It was embarrassing. So
I really hope there's a tape of that somewhere.
there isn't.
We need to.
I never recorded them.
Yeah.
They were just lyrics jotted down on like my school notebook. The first thing I wish I knew was write about what it sounds so cliche, but like write what you know, and I try to write what I know about. I wish when I started writing that I learned more music theory. The more I've learned and the better I've gotten, and just learning to play piano or guitar or steel or whatever it may be has really expanded my creative, platform or something. It's like you have more tools in your toolbox, and you can also get the job done quicker and more succinctly. And then also like don't try to use big words to make yourself sound smart because they often get you tangled up, and then you lose like a folksy homemade vibe that it feels impersonal. It feels like you're talking down to your listener.
So I've been really on a big kick of this. There's a podcast called The 500 with Josh Adam Meyer, and he goes through the Rolling Stones greatest top 500 greatest albums of all time. And he has like a comedian or celebrity or somebody sits in with him, and essentially interviews them through this album. Like he'll play a record and like talk about why this album means something to them, and play songs and kind of some of the stories behind some of the songs. And then anyway, it's really a great show. But they recently, this week's episode was Nas Illmatic. And I don't know if you ever listened to that record, but Nas is like one of the greatest for lyrics, and like has some of the craziest, throws out some of the craziest words, and you're like, what is that? You know, like, I don't even know what that means. And like, you know, kind of thing, like, and how he rhymed it with something else. And like, he's just a master of using lyrics like that. But they got to talking about their favorite, like, big words, or, you know, and stuff like, and they were talking about how like, one of their favorites was pumpernickel, and like how like it's such a fun word to say and stuff, and like how, and he's like, and it's a bomb bread too, or something like that. Like
and
that.
It is, yes, yeah. So, it is delicious.
Anyway, so it just made me laugh thinking about all these goofy words that like we don't use a whole lot in regular, you know, everyday language, but they're fun to say whenever you get to. I think another one he was saying was perpendicular, and like, I don't like it's another fun one.
You know, there's a time and a place for it, but if you're like me and you're writing a sad folk song, typically cut it short.
It's hard to put pumpernickel in there.
Yeah, so. I mean, there's probably a way you can fit it in, I'm sure, but I'm not the guy that's going to do it.
Right. Yeah.
I can't.
Yep. But
I'm just not that smart. Let's see. I think there were some other questions too that I got.
Yeah.
What do we...
There was another one Emily wrote in on here. If you could be any character in any movie and could live in any fictional world, what character would you be and where would you want to live?
Ash Ketchum, Pokemon, Indigo League era.
Not that you thought about that at all. Like, you just... right off the top of your head, like,
yeah.
I don't know. I never got into the whole Pokemon thing. I know, like, obviously it was a big craze, but I totally missed that one.
I don't know. What year did you graduate high school?
I was a class of 03.
03? Yeah.
Yeah, I was like...
You were a little too old.
Yeah, I was...
I caught it right at the perfect time, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of things. Like, you have to be right in that certain age.
I was right in the pocket.
Yep. But yeah, that was one I just never caught on to. I never got into that one.
But yeah, obviously. I mean, who wouldn't want to live in the Pokemon universe? It's great. Except, you know, I've often thought, like, well, they are like... it's kind of like dogfighting, you know? It's like you get these animals, you trap them against their will. Then you make them fight in battle for your amusement so you can get a freaking badge. I'm editing my language.
You got another one over there?
Yeah, let's see here. Jeez, I've got all this dead air. I can't find it now. I can't find it. There were some good ones. In here. Ah, here it is. This is from Scott Welton. Do you have any ideas on what the missing bullet points might be on the declassified CIA report from 1983 on the Gateway experience? He says speculation is called for. Now, when he asked me this, I said no, but I'll look into it and I will make a comment. What I found was the Gateway experience is a government report on like astral projection. Like that movie, The Men Who Stare at Goats. I don't know if you've seen that. No. But it's like telekinesis and like telekinetic powers and people being able to like transport their astral being on like a different plane and like teleport to a different part in the world with like their soul or something. And my comment is I don't think it's real. And then that's it. Putting that one to bed. Gray or gray, spelled with an E or spelled with an A. I'm going to go with gray with an E because it reminds me more of the gray aliens from the Pleiades that come down and abduct you and probe you and stuff. How's your arm? Dennis says. It's fine. It's healed now. Did the CIA kill JFK? I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know. I did learn that JFK was a drug addict and was like on morphine and all sorts of painkillers and codeine and enough to like put a freaking elephant to sleep. And was, that was something I recently learned. And of course, a raging alcoholic. But yeah, you don't get to know your heroes.
I saw a good one. Speaking of drugs, I saw a good thing the other day on Facebook. Made me laugh. It was like a Twitter screenshot, and it said, in 1977, Eric Clapton sang a song called "Cocaine." The song was about cocaine. The chorus of the song was just the word cocaine. And the gist of the song is, if you want to make friends and have a good time, use cocaine. And then it says, anyway, what rap song are we complaining about today? I thought that was pretty good, though.
Well, yeah. Well, just if you're going to be a square, then you just don't like music. Just don't listen to it.
Right.
Just listen to instrumental classical music or something.
Yep, that's all I listen to.
Because all your favorites were on drugs.
Right. I got one more for you. I've been having fun with this one because it's interesting how people think of themselves and who they're fans of and things. But when the Donald Woodyard Incorporated biopic comes out, and who would you like to see cast as to play Adam?
My cousin Miles.
Yeah?
He's an actor.
Yeah?
Yeah. He looks just like me.
So he's got it down?
Yeah.
What about the sing?
He's shorter. He's shorter than me.
Can he sing and play too?
He could fake it.
Yeah.
His brother plays, Mark.
Right.
He could learn.
Just doubling his hands in there.
Sure, yeah. Exactly. Yeah, Miles, you do a good job.
Right.
He was in that James Brown movie, Get On Up.
Oh, really?
And then he was in The Help as well. Both filmed, I believe, by the same director in Mississippi, which is why he was in them.
Very nice. Yeah. That's cool.
But a famous actor that people know, God, I can't think of any modern actors. I don't know. I can't think of anyone. I can't think of a single person. Who do you think?
I don't know. Maybe Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd? Okay, I'll take that. He's ageless, far more attractive than I am. You know, one time, years ago, this is 10 years ago, I was delivering sandwiches for Jimmy John's, and I deliver a sandwich to this guy, and he goes, "Man, you look like Ashton Kutcher." And I'm like, "No, I don't." And he goes, I do a celebrity lookalike competition at this bar. You should come in and do it. You'd be perfect to do Ashton Kutcher." And I'm like, "No, you don't do a celebrity lookalike competition at a bar." And I'm like, "What bar is it?" And then he I don't think he ever told me what bar it was. I think he just took his sandwich and left. I just think he wanted to say that I look like Ashton Kutcher and didn't know how to say it. And so he lied about having a lookalike competition just so he could say, "Hey, you look like this guy." That's what I think happened.
All right. I really was hoping that story you would have finished it with. So I showed up and I won $50.
No.
And like that would have been.
No, it didn't show up. I think the story is the guy told me I looked like Ashton Kutcher. This real story is, why did he have to lie to tell me that?
Well, let's ask him.
He's a bad person. Yeah. Let's bring him in. Yeah. I've got him right here.
I don't know, man. People say that to me a lot too. Not that I look like Ashton Kutcher, but like that I look like somebody, and I'm just like, I don't say whatever, man. Get out of here. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, yeah. But it would have been really funny if he said you look like Ashton Kutcher, and then he like told him he's on Punk'd or something like that, and then like, done some kind of crazy thing, something like that. But it would have really like blew his mind completely. Like you're like, you really are Ashton Kutcher, and like
I take my mask off.
Right.
That looks exactly. I put on a mask to look just kind of like Ashton Kutcher, and I take it off to reveal I'm actually.
That's it.
Him.
I knew it, man. You look just like him. All right, buddy. Well, everybody, again, pick up your copy of Waltzes for the Damned. Available everywhere. October 2nd. You can pick up your copy right now at Bandcamp. Get yourself one of those tapes with your custom Adam Donald artwork, and that's going to be fun for the whole family. Get your nice little...
The adults in the family.
Right. Everybody loves a good, picture with their eyes bleeding out and stuff. So
exactly.
So perfect for spooky season.
Perfect for October, everyone. Let me help you spook yourselves out.
Yep.
With some nice soothing acoustic music. Well, I really appreciate you talking to me.
Yeah, man.
Shane.
It's always a fun hang. I always appreciate getting to spend some time with you and not having to charge me like Cree does. So I appreciate that.
Oh, Cree's the one who makes me pay him.
Right. Yeah, he charges you to hang out.
Yeah.
I'm just thankful that I don't have to pay you to hang out with me yet. So.
All right. Well,
one of these days.
I'm going to go smoke some cigarettes and skateboard with Matt Maher.
All right, buddy. Well, thank you so much for doing this, and talk to you all soon. Bye, everyone.
Rock Paper Podcast. Rock Paper Podcast. Rock Paper Podcast.
Rock Paper Podcast.
Well, yeah, that was it.